speaking of small change, Supersonic DLC came out about a month ago for Sonic Forces, and everyone was like, "Yay! Why did you actually lock this off when it's already in the game? In which case, don't look where you're not supposed to." Then again, that's how we found out. That's how we found. It's nothing new. Yeah. Oh, look at this! It's there. DLC, perhaps? Yeah, it probably is. Not perhaps, it is a guarantee it's going to be DLC.
Yeah. I mean, arguably, the way it should have been in the game from day one, but again, we've been in this argument for many, many years. I mean,
if it's not written into the story, then what's the fucking point, okay? If it's a bonus thing, fine, like Supersonic in Sonic Lost World. But this one wasn't meant to. And even I would argue the actual level design doesn't really work with Supersonic.
No.
Because you pretty much, with Modern Sonic, you can break the game. Yeah. But it was initially free for a month, and afterwards it would have cost you $1.99 to play as Supersonic at Modern and Classic.
Yeah.
Which, okay. Surprisingly, you can be Supersonic with the tag team stages.
Can you?
You can,
I've heard that, actually. I've got to try that myself.
Yeah, you can be Supersonic on tag team stages. I didn't know that myself. I was going through. It's like, oh, Sonic and Supersonic. Okay. The only I will say is plus with the Shadow DLC, the only Sonic stage you can't play as Shadow is the Egg Gate. That's the only one you can't play as Shadow.
Yeah. But
right now, Supersonic DLC has now remained free forever.
Apparently.
A lot of people just...
Well, initially, I mean, let's be fair, this whole outcry of saying, why do we have to pay for it, is come out of the fact that, well, basically, you looked at Battlefront, have you looked at Call of Duty, have you looked at just everybody in the gaming industry for last year?
It's... Okay, for the past decade and a half, DLC is a mainstay, really. Like, since 2006, 2007, DLC extending the game's lifetime with cosmetics, new maps, and parts of the story. It's been common so long. Now it's to a point, basically, hey, this part of a main game thing, taken out and actually selling back to you, because it's more profitable than actually making a whole game.
Yeah.
Which case, fuck you, Warner Bros., fuck you, EA, fuck you, Activision.
Yeah, well, Capcom are pretty known for that, because again, it's like, hang on, this stuff's on the fucking data already. Why did you just locked it off? As Angry Joe points out.
Yeah, with that, there's an actual excuse. With the Street Fighter 4, or was it Street Fighter 4, or was it Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
Was that Marvel vs. Capcom, I think, as well, that was happening?
No, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom had a completely different issue.
All right.
Then again, right now they're releasing Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a different issue. That was due to the tsunami fucking everything up.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
but like I said, this is...
But with the Street Fighter 4, I think it's Elena or something, some extra character was on the disc.
Yeah.
And basically, why get you along like this? Why did you have to buy it to get a bit of an extra code to unlock it? Well, the thing is, what if someone playing you online doesn't have it, but you do, or vice versa?
Yeah.
They can, with that, they actually read that when actually online, they read the disc and see the code is there for the character to load up on your screen to actually be able to fight him or her. That's the reason why. And that's like, you know what, technical limitations, fair enough. But it's not like the latest BlazBlue game coming out soon where half the fucking roster is going to be DLC.
Yeah, all that business. 20
then, 20 now, when we feel like it.
Yeah. But again, this has kind of become like a bad habit, as everybody's pointed out in gaming. The idea is somehow you do all this work and you don't put it in the first release and you wait a large amount of time to put it in later. And going back to Sonic, getting on track, is, again, for a lot of people, the idea is, you just said in Lost World, you can unlock Supersonic as a thing in the game rather than having to manually download it from the game or anything like that.
Yeah. But the two things I would say I agree with some people's actually reaction to the paywall is all DLC for Sonic has been free, mostly.
True. Yeah.
Except 06 Unleashed had expansion packs, like adventure packs.
They had, yeah.
Which, fair enough, they're like technically it's the same level, but new elements here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, my nose is itchy today. In one Werehog level, you had to go from the ending back to the beginning. So it's different kind of coding, and it's like, okay, for like $2.50, I think it was £2.50 it cost to get the Apollo's adventure pack. Like, fair enough. No, I'm okay. So basically, $1.99 is small change compared to nearly every other bit of DLC. There was cat hair in my fucking nose.
Yeah.
So what?
I think it's always the case of the price bunking up. You know, it starts at that, and then how long until they start putting it at 2, 3, 5, 10, all that stuff. That's
a lot of people say, "Oh, this is what it would have been, but add this would have been a complete package." It's like, not really, because I guess from a player standpoint, Supersonic wasn't intended to be part of the initial game. Yeah, it could have been a bonus thing to unlock, but then again, it wasn't really part of the story.
Narratively, it didn't fit anyway.
And even then, playing as Supersonic in Forces, to me, it's not as fun. I rarely play as Supersonic now in the game. I'm just, okay, let's play as Sonic, because I enjoy boosting through Mortar Canyon or Mystic Forest. Not Mystic Forest. Mystic Jungle. I can't remember what
the one that basically where the jungle's been turned into a casino.
Yeah, the modern version.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it is Mystic Forest. So Supersonic, the Sonic Den doesn't really feel right. Because, hey, you can break the game with it. It's actually really good. Yeah, but I almost nearly every time die. And plus, Supersonic as Classic Sonic is pretty much just as bad. Yeah, going down Chemical Plant, running up little ramps, doesn't fucking go anywhere. Like, running, fuck!
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can do it. You can actually run up the ramp. Barely. Just about. So the actual gameplay only slightly tweaked, so it doesn't feel any different. So Supersonic, I don't think there's any point having Supersonic in Forces. I mean, you can go with a Sonic game without Supersonic. And plus, it's $2 paywall.
Yeah.
Now the amount of people actually complain, just like think, okay, yeah, it's free. Okay, all DLC is free before.
It's funny because again, if you think about it, obviously, because if we're talking about reputation here in gaming, I mean, let's be fair, Sega's not had the best reputation for quite a while. So the fact they've been doing a lot of this stuff, it's for free, you can get it, no money bullshit. I think part of that is at least getting people on the good side, because as we pointed out, Sega and Sonic doesn't have the best reputation, particularly online. So in many ways, this is probably you call it damage control or whatever you want, but it is the sense of, look,
this feels like damage control. Basically, a lot of people are pissed off for having to pay $2 for a bit of DLC compared to the rest of the DLC, which is free. So they're expecting. I think so. Basically, some Sega fans are conditioned to expect things for free.
I do know the fact that with with Aaron, because again, community manager who has to deal with this, basically it's like the middle guy. I mean, again, he obviously was brought up about this, and he did say, it's like, look, I'll talk to the guys to see about this. And last stream I saw of him, he actually just said, yeah, we made it free, we talked about it, and thinking about it, it probably was better just to give it as a free thing rather than pay it. And
if it's already in the game and all that, fair enough, should have been free. And it's as a novelty rather than something that actually changes the game. Because
like I said, people have pointed out already, the thing with Forces is like, it is a very different game from what Gen was and Colors and Unleashed. I mean, just the way it plays, and obviously, they probably want to get as much good press out of this. In fact, I remember people like kind of felt like, oh, I'm bored with Forces. Like, it's only been out for about, as of recording this, about
3 months.
3 months. So it is surprising how quicker people are kind of like turning off it. But
there's and even recently, I just completed the entire freaking game. I've got a platinum trophy. I replayed the freaking prison hall level like 60 times to get that freaking ring one, the ring achievement.
I was going to say, I mean, was that for just doing the regular level or doing the SOS stuff?
No, that's doing a regular level. I repeated playing the prison hall or whatever the hell it's called. I can't remember, prison something on the Death Egg, and I've played it that many times. I can't remember the freaking name now. As the wolf, I recreated Buddy.
Yeah, him
with the burst wisp, and collected 1,000 rings or 999 because that's the max. Every time, 60 times just to get the freaking ring achievement. So aside from that, I have not. Aside from going back and creating a new avatar ever so often to actually draw something, Because I had to recreate an avatar, which was very simple, and it was easy to recreate in Forces. Aside from that, I have not touched Forces since.
No. I mean, again, I think a lot of people will look back at this because we sort of talked about this before. That people's reaction to it has been, it's not a disaster. I mean, there are a few people who are saying it's either terrible. I mean, you put it out saying, I know it's terrible. I haven't played it, lol. And, again, it's like people are going to look at this in the same way. Like, I bet when Unleashed first came out, ironically, over a decade ago, it was like a stepping stone. Ironically, it was their second attempt to do a HD game. This is now the first attempt to do one with the PS4.
This is their first 4K game.
Yeah. And undoubtedly, I think the argument would be that this is more of a safe game. I think you said this before, that it doesn't take any risk in terms of adding new stuff to the gameplay itself.
No, the Avatar was the newest thing to
Addition, do. Really,
yeah, PS12 Pro enhanced. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so like I said, so by all means, I mean, the lazy excuse was just basically saying, well, this was a testing ground, and then the next one's going to be the big, massive thing. And then most people are like, well, I want them to do the good game now. I don't want to spend 3 years pissing about rather than making something that isn't going to be great. But
that's the general rule of game design. Even comparing like the Crash Bandicoot games, the first one sucks compared to the other two. Even Spyro, the first Spyro game, even though it's one of my favorites, is kind of a very piss easy game compared to Spyro 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So there's testing, and even then, like, what's the Atlas? They made a game called Catherine, which graphically it looks identical to to the Persona series. I think that was testing one of the new engines, and then they made Persona 5, which I actually now own. I'm not too sure whether I'm not too sure when I'm going to go and play it. I hear it's one of the best games of last year, but still.
Yeah. But it's funny because going back to Crash, I mean, ironically, remember when they brought in the Slippery Crime level, and that was free for a bit, but now that's like you have to pay money for it now. But again, I think it's down to reputation because I think Sega, if anything else, and I don't want to sound mean. I know there are generally nice people there. We've met 2 people there. We know there are good people, honest people working there, but we also know there is the business side of it, and you do think this is one of the few times where they want the reputation to come out more than the business side, probably. And like I said, unlike EA and Activision, who are trying to worm their way out of this whole thing.
They can't. They really can't.
Let's be fair. Sega know they wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, they just know they wouldn't be able to do this with the reputation they've had the last few years. So it's better to do it as a free thing than to pay. Maybe that's the best outcome of it.
If it's something small and just like easily distributed and easily programmed, and fair enough, fine. You can do it. But when it's something major, like it's pretty much new levels, like even the Shadow DLC, that was free for bonus people. Even it was free. It was just 3 levels, some actual dialogue story, and 1 cutscene. That's all it was.
Yeah, that really was it.
That could have been a $2 DLC, and no one would have complained because it was basically extended story. It was new levels, and with a bonus, you get to play a Shadow in the main Sonic levels. So, as far as Sega paying Sega for DLC, it's just its reputation because most of their DLC is free. So, but even then, you shouldn't actually expect everything they do to be for free. Am I saying that right?
No. Well, actually, put it this way. Ironically, with MLP, some people may know if you're bronies out there, whatever. But recently, there was that huge leak for unfinished episodes of Series A, and some of the Questionable shorts come out, and this was leaked out all over the web. And let's be fair, the reason why this has become a cultural phenomenon is the internet. And for a lot of people, I think even Hasbro have just let the web blossom this entire thing. And this is one of the few times where it's like this massive, like, no, they should not been able to see this yet. It's not finished. We want scheduling stuff, and many fans out there took advantage and wanted to see them or re-upload them on various sites. And that's the case where it's like, really, that's the fine line you shouldn't tread. It is a shame leaks like this happen, but that's the point where you say, no, that is not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's internet culture, especially when Generations came out and everyone, the demo for Generations came out.
That's like general people just hack into the data and, constantly saying, look what I found, and achievement lists and all that stuff.
Because then released the game early, it's like, I get all the views. They get all the views. Like, fuck off.
I know. But as we said, I mean, really, it's surprising we actually got this amount of stuff actually talking about the DLC thing. I didn't think we could.
Because it's a hot button topic, because DLC was one thing, then it was pre-orders, then it was online passes, which thankfully got phased the fuck out. Like, you want to play online? Buy the game brand new. Enter this code. There you go. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, because by the time that's resold, they're going to go like, I can't use this. It's like, well, you got a worthless piece of paper in your hand.
Yep. And now it's basically all microtransactions. Again, we said this before, so they could very easily charge for every little bit of DLC. Could have given you just like block standard.
And they could have easily have gone into the same.
You want the Amy and Tails boot set? That's $199. You want the Shadow and Silver boot set? That's another $199. You want the Sonic boot set with the boom hands and boom shoes set? That's another $199. They could have actually charged for every bit of like because the actual be able to charge different colors and actual shoes and hands of the actual Sonic cast compared to actually all original stuff. They could have charged for every little bit of it. That's more novelty than actual dress up. Even though I really like the Persona 5 outfit, which I have not changed out of that one.
Aye. I mean, put it this way, I think James earlier said this, the fact that Sonic Forces, which, let's be fair, a lot of people either don't like it or are a bit disappointed. I mean, the fact that that's doing a game where the more you play of it, you unlock stuff by achieving stuff in the game, that's kind of a surprising thing in this, considering what happened.
Yeah, it showers you with add-ons every mission you do and every level you complete.
Yeah.
Compared to, well, here's a little bit of pocket change. Where's this 10p? That's for a good round.
Yeah, here's a bunch of points you can get from this thing.
Now, if you're really good, you earn a lot more points once you get 10 quid of. We're going for you 10 pence every single round. Earn over 10 quid, unlock this one character. You have to keep doing it all over again to unlock all the characters.
Yeah.
But if you pay me 10 quid, I will give you these 10 boxes that have complete crap in them.
Yeah.
But it may be a gold tooth. I know I saw a gold tooth in there someone.
Yeah, as we said, so again, like I said, and ironically, there's one thing Forces does right, is at least, well, if we're going to give you loads of crazy stuff, at least let the player get it as they play the game.
Yeah, not just like
penny feed them.
Yeah.